Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the eChannel News podcast. What are your AI agents actually doing? Do you know, actually, or most are unaware, if you can believe that? And it's leading to some big governance and security problems. Hello, everyone. I'm Paul Dellingblatter, and I'm your host for eChannel News podcast. And with me today is someone who's going to be answering a lot of those questions and probably more, Adam Markowitz, the CEO of Drata. Adam, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks so much for having me.
So, Drata is, and correct me if I'm wrong, an agentic trust management platform based in San Francisco.
Correct. Yes, the company is about 5 years old, uh,
Yeah,
based in San Francisco, but offices throughout the globe. And yeah, I'm one of the co-founders and CEO.
fantastic. Well, again, pleasure to have you on. Why is there a gap, Adam? And a lot of organizations expect AI to do wonderful things for them, but in terms of governance, risk, and compliance and what has been delivered so far, there seems to be a gap. How big is this gap?
It's pretty big. Our data shows across millions of security questions that flow through our trust graph. About 30% of all questions being asked in these security questionnaires from enterprises to their vendors are about
Mhm.
agent governance today. 12 months ago, it was practically non-existent. So that just shows you how fast it's becoming a top of mind issue.
Mhm.
But we see across the answers, there's just a lack of ability to answer these questions with
Mhm.
anything more than just here's a policy that we have in place, but not how do we actually implement this policy to know what our agents are doing, if they should be doing what they're doing, and at the end of the day, can we prove it to our customers, to our auditors, to the regulators? And a lot of times, even the visibility into what agents are running isn't there. So that
Yeah,
just tells you so much. You can't govern what you can't see.
absolutely. I was at RSA earlier this year, and I was really shocked at some like, I mean, these are anecdotal executives telling me this, but still, that a lot of these decision makers don't even have someone with any AI experience or security experience in the room when they're looking at this stuff. Have you seen the same thing?
We've kind of seen it all already, and I'm sure actually some that we haven't seen yet, but we will. It's pretty amazing, right? The adoption curve is flying, but yeah, the security and governance curve is lagging, which is a pattern that we've seen before. We saw it with endpoint, we saw it with cloud, we're seeing it now with AI. Um, I think yeah, agents are already quickly outnumbering humans in most organizations. They do in ours,
Yeah.
um, but these agents actually take action, and so it's the way we govern them has to be very different than the past.
Yeah, the that stat coming out of Microsoft in terms of the amount of agents that they have just in the last 12 months was staggering. I'm sure you saw that. But is there a case to be made that the AI is just moving so fast that it's inevitable that no one can keep up?
When you say no one, I mean, yeah, I think no human can.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, but the old adage, to have a solution to a machine speed problem, you need a machine speed solution.
Mhm.
And so you need agents if you actually want to properly govern agents, which is wild to say, but that is actually where we are. There's just the speed and scale just cannot be controlled by humans anymore.
All right. So I saw a stat: 13% of security professionals full that are actually fully aware of what they have in terms of AI tools in their organization. Now, that to me seems to be a pretty low number. But I want to ask you, Adam, what do you know what it was like last year, what it was in 2024, and has it been dramatically decreasing, and by how much?
Well, I mean, if only 13% know what agents are running, I mean, 87% don't, right? I mean, that's the staggering percentage there.
So it's the other side of the coin.
It's yeah, yeah. I mean, almost 90% of organizations cannot answer the question, what agents are running within an
Mhm.
organization? And what agents are running today might look different than what's running tomorrow.
Mhm.
And so being able to do that on a continuous basis just takes it to, probably from 90 to almost 100%. Um, we see it every day in our product. We have it's almost like gamified onboarding experience where we have the CISO or the security team guess. I mean,
Mhm.
just straight guess how many
Yeah,
agents, and then once the systems are connected and running, it shows them the real number. I mean, you watch their eyes, it's it's staggering. It's
yeah.
surprising for a lot of these organizations, but these aren't just tools or vendor. I mean, these are agents that are capable of taking action on your systems, on your production systems, your customers' data. So like I said, it's not a new pattern. We've seen it before, we
Mhm.
just haven't seen it at the speed or the scale and this magnitude.
Adam, let me ask you, because we're talking technically and we're talking also resources as well, but what about leadership, senior leadership? Do you think there is a senior leadership issue here where maybe the guys in the corner office either don't know what's going on or maybe are hoodwinked into thinking, oh, we just got to go all AI, doesn't matter what the cost. What's your take on that?
I think it's shifting. Um, I think maybe 6, 12 months ago, we were still right in that phase of just adoption at all costs. And again, it was
Yeah,
just we saw it with cloud. It was we're moving to the cloud, cloud at all costs, cloud at all costs.
right.
Same thing here, AI at all costs. Adoption is more important. It's a bigger existential risk to not adopt AI within our organization than it is to, wait until the perfect time. And so that is starting to shift. I think just incidents that you see in the news every day now starting to pop up. The fact that the actual regulators, the actual frameworks that companies are being audited against is now requiring evidence of governance here. And then your customers, all right, starting with the market. When they say you need to have this in place in order to do business with us, people start to pay more attention. And it's less about, hey, CISO, get out of the way or clear a path for adoption. And all of a sudden, hey, wait, come back. We need to secure and govern what we're doing here. So I think we're right at that cusp.
All right. So you mentioned governmental in your last answer. Do you think government has to step in here? Do you
And I
want
think
government to step in there?
I think they already have in a lot of ways. I
Yeah.
mean, we're seeing it across, different regulations, frameworks. I mean, it started with what, EU AI Act, saw with ISO 42001 coming online, and that was, for the last 6 months, probably the biggest hand raiser across our customer base was specifically for that framework. Um, and we're even seeing updates being made to some of the oldies but goodies like SOC 2. So if it's not this audit cycle, it'll be the next for most of our customers. So they're starting to realize this is inevitable. We're going to have to show evidence that we have our finger on the pulse, that we're able to
Mhm.
continuously monitor what the agents are actually doing, and that they're following the policies that we have in place. The same way we have to do with our humans, but there's a lot more agents and they're moving much, much faster than the humans.
All right. Let me give you some quick cautionary stats. I'm gonna share them with you like one at a time. You give me your take on it, okay?
Okay.
86% of AI tools are not enterprise ready.
You want my initial reaction to that?
Yeah, yeah. What's your
Um,
take on that?
yeah, I mean it's kind of like saying 86% of, software startups aren't ready for the enterprise. So I'm guessing not super surprised um, by that. And I think most of the adoption is like the real resistance to for an enterprise to deploy agents across their production systems is the governance problem. I mean, that is the bottleneck right now.
Mhm.
Trust is the bottleneck.
All right. 83% of teams are don't know how to handle all the AI adoption.
Doesn't surprise me. It's yeah, from even knowing what agents are running to like duplicative agents. Are we taking a sledgehammer to a thumbtack here in some cases? Are we using the most cost-effective, approach here, or is it just, hey, we have an agent that solves this now, so high five? Or, we're seeing all these issues. So yeah, again, not surprised.
Here's the one that really perplexes me, Adam. Some are dumping AI tools that are underperforming, and the reason why it perplexes me, like they're going all they're jumping off a cliff for AI adoption, and in the same circle they're getting rid of the stuff that they already invested in. What's your take on that?
I mean, surprise, yeah, but maybe not too. I guess I could make sense of it if the ROI isn't there and the cost of tokens doesn't get a little more cost effective, then you know I wouldn't be super surprised. Maybe like sounds drastic to do a complete just ripping out of this of AI, but we're definitely seeing pullback in certain areas. That wouldn't be a surprise.
All right, let's talk about Drata for a second. You have a solution out there for AI governance, agentic governance. Tell me a little bit about it, and how do you think the marketplace is going to be ready for this type of solution?
Yeah, so we spent the last 5 years since we launched helping our customers automate compliance, govern risk, obviously complete audits, and really our special sauce has been on the continuous monitoring of behavior
Mhm.
of different systems and tools companies have in place. So we could take them from this point in time assessment or point in time audit to a place of continuous compliance, as we would say. And so we've had a front row seat to this right at the heart of it, across 9,000 customers from small startups to large enterprises. And so we've seen quite a lot and we've built up what we call a trust graph in that period. We're
Right.
continuously monitoring millions of controls across our customer landscape. And like I said earlier, we see the questions that are being asked, the actual how trust is being earned and maintained between these companies. So it puts us in a really unique place to essentially extend that monitoring, extend that governance and trust graph across now the agents, the things that are doing a lot of the actual work itself. So again, unique place, unique time, but core to our vision of being the trust layer between great companies. And so the excitement, like I said earlier, the amount of hand raisers across our customer base, along with just the fact that every enterprise now is asking about this in their security reviews, um, it's just showing how much pent up, I think, excitement there is and need for this. There really isn't a dominant solution for agent governance today. The incumbents will all come from their own specific angle, which makes sense.
Mhm.
Um, it's likely not a winner take all kind of scenario whatsoever, but again, I believe Drata is very uniquely positioned here to solve this.
Are you planning with this new solution working with MSPs and other channel partners?
Definitely. I mean, that's been part of our entire strategy today over the last five
Mhm.
years. It's served us well. And SPs are going to be if they're not already, I mean, they're going to inherit this AI governance
That's
service as a
true.
managed
No, that's
service.
that's true. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, their clients are deploying agents faster than they can govern them, just like we're seeing across the board. And so they're going to turn to their trusted partner and ask, "Can you help us with this?" So yeah, the MSPs that could answer them are going to be in a really good position, and we'll be there to support them.
So, besides engaging with them, any sort of strategy that you want to put in place to get Drat out there through the channel?
With the MSP, I mean, we'll leverage what we're currently doing today, which has served
Mhm.
us really well. Like I said, over the last 5 years, about a third of our overall pipeline is actually sourced through a channel.
Mhm.
So we've done a good job to date, and I think this new bigger problem, which I've said could be the biggest trust problem maybe that we've ever seen
Mhm.
in tech, um, is a huge opportunity for us to work even closer with those MSPs and drive even more business, but more value for our shared clients.
What's your channel coverage in terms of MSPs across North America?
In terms of like percent of
No, in terms of like, if you look at the map, right? Do you have enough channel activity? Do you have enough channel partners, MSPs in well, I mean, it's probably all an area of growth, but like across the board in North America, or do you find maybe there are pockets where you could do better, or there's not enough activity to meet the demand in the marketplace, things like that?
we could always do better, but we have done a really good job over the last 5 years and globally as well.
Yeah.
You know, our customers today span over 90 countries globally. And so it's across multiple segments as well, like I said, from small startups to Fortune 100. And so there's a high number of channel partners, but we're highly scalable as well. So willing to bring on more and work with as many as we can.
So besides the market opportunity, what kind of incentives should MSPs and other channel partners look at um, with these issues here that been talking about in Drata?
Sorry, can you say that again? What kind of
What kind of
cut out?
incentives should they be, striving to achieve? Monetary, I'm thinking. Uh, no, that's the only thing I'm thinking. I'm thinking making money. Our audience wants to know how to make money. In
Yeah.
case you're wondering, Adam.
Well,
Yeah, go on.
sniff out where the problem is. And I think there's no doubt if they're not already seeing it, then I think maybe they got to pick their heads up a little bit because
Mhm.
like I said, we're seeing it just in the data, we're seeing it in the conversations we're having. I'm sure their clients are already asking them. If they're not, they're going to be very soon. So
Mhm.
being prepared, being ready with a solution, one that they feel comfortable with, and that's actually going to drive value across different dimensions here, right? Too. So we've talked about the behavior, like what the agents are actually
Mhm.
doing, but
Yeah.
there's some steps before that of understanding, like again, the discovery,
Mhm.
continuous discovery of agents, what agents are actually running, what
Yeah.
identities are tied to them, what level of access do they have, and monitoring that for drift. Then you get to kind of the behavior
Yeah.
over time, and then at the end of the day, it's being able to prove it. Like, are you actually collecting the evidence in a way that suffices for a potential audit, whether it's a customer, or regulator, um, or auditor? Those are all things to make sure you have the right solution or solutions. It's not, it doesn't have to be a one size fits all.
Right. Of course. I think the biggest challenge from a channel perspective is a lot of them it simply don't have the AI assessment chops to even get started. The vast majority of them are in the SMB, so a lot of those, you know, like to some of the stats we've been pointing out, are unaware too.
Yeah.
There's shadow AI and things like that. I think those are some of the challenges that group is facing.
Yeah, and if you're starting from scratch, in some cases that can be better. Obviously, you don't. It's tougher to retrofit something in to an existing
Yeah.
program, um, but starting early. So literally, as you're building a governance program, making sure that the AI is a part of it. Um, and we just invested quite a bit in our of time in our Drata Academy. That's both
Mhm.
for our customers, our MSP partners, and the market as a whole, so they could get comfortable understanding the problem and how our solution obviously plays its role, but it's good education for really anyone out there.
So, Adam, I applied you with a lot of questions, a lot of market insights, and a lot of stats. Does any of all this lead to any conclusion on your part?
Try to make sense of everything in one line takeaway.
Oh no, you can have more than one line here. You
Yeah,
don't
like I
want to
think
hold you to just 7 words in one sentence.
I've said a little bit of this already. I mean, I think the we've seen the pattern before with any
Mhm.
technology wave. It's adoption, and then the kind of the real bill comes, and it comes to
Mhm.
security
Yeah.
and governance. Um, we said that the solution here is going to have to be agentic itself. The only way to combat AI is with AI, or the only way to solve again machine speed problems, machine speed solution.
Mhm.
Um, and for us, something that's rung true for the last 5 years has been moving from point in time to continuous. Like even moving from on-prem to the cloud, our view was the same 5 years ago. You have to move to a continuous monitoring standpoint. Now at the scale and speed that the agents are moving, like it's not even up for debate.
Yeah.
Continuous automated assurance has to be the standard if it's
Mhm.
not already. And so the audit model itself changes, and some of the underlying assumptions of governance or GRC and as a whole changes.
Mhm.
Um, when it's no longer just humans and systems, it's actually agents that are taking the action. So that's how I would kind of sum it all up. And again, I would say very biasedly that we're in a unique position here at
Mhm.
Drata with the trust graph that we've built, and that compounds literally every day with thousands of
Mhm.
customers and all of the data that we're able to glean and leverage to bring a solution to really solve this.
Yeah, I think you have me convinced too, like on in terms of like a conclusion that it has to be like an AI um, um, mandated solution that maybe humans. Although I think there's threshold levels, I would think, but I mean, I think you really pinpointed it well.
If you think of
And
the perimeter being any API endpoint that an agent can possibly touch today or tomorrow when their access or privilege drifts, like
right.
the thought of that across potentially thousands of agents running at any given time, it's just the thought of a human being monitoring that is just absurd.
No, it is. In my previous job, we were a people organization. Don't get me wrong, but there was a lot of AI, a lot of automation, and yeah, at the end of the day, we had shifts in our SOC, right? 15 people in there. 24/7. But again, it's limited just to 15 people, so 45 throughout a 24-hour period. So yeah, they can only do so much, right? I get your point.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, sorry, but you want to say something?
I was just as a general principle, whether it's in the products that we're building or just in across the board, I think like the human in the loop judgment is going to still be there and need to be there. But the
Yeah,
actual work itself, or the monitoring work in this case, like it has to be an agentic approach.
yeah, yeah. Given the circumstances, for sure. So Adam, I appreciate all your insights. I want to shift gears a little bit, talk about you. Now you don't have to make it personal. You can talk business, channel, whatever you like. What are some of your likes and dislikes?
Oh boy. Um, I think a lot more likes than dislikes across the board.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, that's a good that's a good sign. Um, ah, oh my God. I mean, when it comes to work and Drata and what we're building, yeah, obviously at the end of the day, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing if we didn't think trust was the most
Mhm,
important, outside of time, the most important
mhm,
asset in life and in business. That's what
mhm,
gets us out of bed every day and taking
mhm,
on the challenges of building this company and this trust graph. But
mhm.
dislikes, shortcuts. Um,
Except
yeah,
if we're on the road in California, right?
yeah, yeah. I grew up in Southern California, so getting around traffic actually isn't a bad thing.
I live
Um,
in Toronto, so it's just as bad. I appreciate shortcuts for sure, but not the ones you're talking about.
Yeah, no, I though when it comes to company building, we took a very values-based approach, behavior and values, and that represents our culture. And so, shortcuts in terms of compromising on those values, like that's something that obviously it's a dislike and something we don't tolerate. This is the first place my mind goes to in general if I get asked that question. So, um, but yeah, we could spend a lot more time on likes and dislikes.
Cool, cool. Well, I appreciate you giving it a try. Where can people follow you? Where can people follow Drata, and even the academy that you set up? Where can people follow that as well?
Yeah, so it's all accessible from our website, drata.com. You'll see the academy right there in the navigation. Pretty straightforward. There's also resources on our resources page that's continuously updated, especially as frameworks are updated,
Mhm.
as new data is surfaced in our trust graph. Me personally, LinkedIn's probably best. It's where I'm most active. Um, but yeah, between drata.com and LinkedIn, you'll find us.
Fabulous. Well, there you have it from Adam Markowitz, the CEO and co-founder of Drata. Really interesting discussion today on all the AI issues, and there's always AI issues, on a daily basis here. We covered them on eChannel News, almost on the minute, believe it or not. I want to thank you, the audience out there, for continuing to watch this. Really, really appreciate it. Until next time, that's it for me, Paul Dulling. Thanks a lot, and stay tuned for more. See you later.